Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Couno Cast. We're here this week with the guys from Edward Carter Solution. We have David Bancroft and Alice Gilbey, and we're going to be talking various subjects such as the 4-day week, health and well-being in the workplace, general sales, recruitment and finding talent. So we're going to go through to our suite now and start discussing those things. Guys, thank you for coming down for the Couno Cast. If you'd just like to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Wonderful stuff, Alice.
I'm Alice Gilbey. I'm Head of Talent at Edward Carter Solutions. My main job role is to recruit talent locally into the business.
Okay, wicked. Wicked, that is actually a really good title, is that, as Head of Talent.
I think it's the
Yeah,
best. It's the best title we've got.
It is, everyone loves it. My family are like, wow, what's that? What do you do?
It does sound so appealing though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As you'll have people, I'll apply for Head of Talent.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get that here.
So I'm just a boring old managing director. Yeah, so obviously founded the business in 2009, and obviously it's my remit to look after the well-being of the company. I think in attracting Alice to the company, it was a big thing for us.
What was the reason surrounding that? Why did you all of a sudden create a Head of Talent role?
Yeah, so I think this is the irony that exists within recruitment and the industry as a whole. We make money through finding people, and we provide talent to our clients. And that's how, of course, we make our money. Attracting talent to our own business is actually an incredible challenge. And it's ironic, as I say, because you would think a recruitment agency can recruit their own people, but our networks, all of our marketing, all of our focus are on technical skills. So we recruit for SAP and IT resource. Obviously, when we're looking for recruiters, we're looking for salespeople, we're looking for maybe techies that have got an interest in selling, and they don't really sit within our networks. So very often agencies will actually spend money with agencies to find people for their own agency. So rec to rec. It's I think a good structure. It's a good model, but we actually found locally in leigh-on-sea rec to rec coverage isn't altogether that good. So again, we brought Alice into the business. She works to promote our brand. She works to promote the company to our more local community, and ultimately develop networks of recruiters to attract them to our business.
So talk to me about that. Touch on when you come into the office on a morning. What do you think? Right, today I'm going to do this.
9 times out of 10, it's like, okay, what am I going to video today?
Okay.
So for anyone that is already following my LinkedIn,
that's one of the reasons I wanted to get you down today was I've watched a lot, obviously, of your videos and such on LinkedIn. You're sort of like a seasoned LinkedIner promoter and videographer, as I try to do as well. And that really intrigued me, and I wanted you to get down because there's some subjects that we're going to talk about today that I wanted to talk about. But
it's something in my interview that I wasn't told about. It was kind of put to me on my first day after I was off the job role, which is great, so I was kind of just taking it all on board. But kind of part of attracting talent to the business is making people aware of what is local, what is our environment like, because most people kind of the old-fashioned way might kind of log on, apply for a job role, and all they're actually looking at is, can I do these tasks? Yes, I think I can apply. They don't actually look at the full package. So what does the company offer? What is their environment like? What are their team like? What do they do on lunch times? Whereabouts are they? So it's all of that kind of thing. And then when I started, it was kind of as we are in a great environment, and there's so much to capture in pictures and video. And since I have started, it's kind of broadened everyone's horizons, and everyone kind of goes, oh, I've seen your video, that's good, and they're taking notice now.
And that's one thing I didn't notice when I came up to, I've been up to your offices a few times, through Southend-on-sea, and I met through there and come over across to Couno. And one thing I've always sort of noticed is you do seem to have a good environment there.
Thank you.
And it's when, you do. I don't know, behind closed doors, could be whipping you. But that's when I did a mental health video the other day, and that is one of the key points I wanted to get across is if you're not happy at work, find somewhere else, because I think it is so important to promote that health and well-being in the workplace.
Without a doubt. And I think for us, obviously, we're a relationships business, and if you're not happy in your environment, then the relationships that you're building, the people that you engage in, they won't buy into you, obviously. So you have to be happy in your work, and we hope that we're creating that environment and people are happy and as such successful.
Definitely, and the fish tank. That's got to be a mood calmer.
It's a good one. It was something I always wanted at home, in fairness. But it's difficult to justify. But in the office, you know, what better justification?
And you're very hands-on with that as well. I remember
Yeah.
I called for you the other day.
Yeah.
And Dave will try and dodge my calls a lot of the time. So,
Now you're getting me.
so I've resorted to say, well, I've got a ransomware virus ready to launch on his computer if he doesn't call me back.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
Mission Impossible stuff. I remember the other day, and I was like, oh, I can't talk to him. He's got his hands in a fish tank.
Yeah, actually did. Yeah.
It could be true.
I'll give you that.
It could be true.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
So how would you say that you promote health and well-being in the workplace, or your viewpoints on it? What's
A mixture of ways, really. So through social media is massive. Within the team, so since I've started, we're actually trialling our first lunchtime yoga session today.
nice?
And it's something that I took on board back in January. To help with my kind of stress levels, anxiety, etc. And a lot of people that haven't tried it might think it isn't for them. But it's very, very important, and a lot of workplaces are taking it on board now.
Yeah.
Stress and anxiety in the workplace is absolutely huge, and if your company can offer something to help that, then why not? So we've got a good take-in from the guys today, so obviously that's one of the ways.
Is it your first session today?
It is, yeah,
It's
today.
first session today, yeah.
Look forward to
So
it.
so again, people will see it on LinkedIn. They might do some videos and pictures and see how it goes. But
I do think yoga is a good way to go as well, because it's
Yeah.
not only physical fitness, it's also
mental.
about that mood calming, and it's about
Absolutely.
mental
Yeah.
health
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I know a lady that does it. I'll put in touch
Yes.
with you, like Yoga Works, where she'll actually come into your office and do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And if
Yeah.
I look like her when I'm 47,
Yes.
then I'm
oh my gosh, yeah,
seriously
it's
considering
huge, yeah.
taking up yoga.
And it's things that I was saying to Dave this morning when we was getting a coffee, is that I've learnt, there's a move that I've learnt to do. It's taken me 9 months, and then once you do that, it's a massive achievement.
Yeah.
But it just keeps focus. So a lot of people might not understand it if they haven't tried it. But I think if you've got an open mind, try it. If you can bring it in. So I had to try and do it 3 times a week. So I'm also doing it when I finish work 5:30.
Fair.
Get to the studio for 6 and kind of do it on Tuesdays, do it on a Monday evening as well. And it just kind of helps you gather your thoughts, switch off, because a lot of people,
that's massively important. I think the
Huge.
switch off element, it's like even at lunches, I'll encourage people to
Go
try and
out.
step away from the office, even
Yeah.
walk, go down the
Yeah,
beach,
absolutely.
have a glass
Yeah.
of wine and eat telly.
Yeah, and it's lovely as well.
Yeah.
And we've got the same. So where we're like 5 minutes from Lee Broadway, it's
Yeah.
Dave has implemented no eating at your desk, because a lot of people tend to
Yeah.
work through. Oh no, I just need to get this finished. And it is proven you are much more effective and you work harder if you remove yourself from the desk, take your lunch break, go for a walk, and come back and start again.
Yeah, 100. When it was at
100%.
Southend United, I used to do it, and I used to basically go to Tesco's, whichever get me meal deal.
Yeah.
Not for random right. And I'd sit and watch the Groundsman.
Yeah.
Basically, just watching.
Therapeutic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was literally
Yeah.
like I was in a trance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a big thing. We used to see people sat at their desk, obviously, from the moment they arrived to the moment they left. And actually, although they're physically at their desk for longer, for productivity, we find it far better if they step away, go for a walk, as their broad nose
Reset.
is. Yeah, it's within 5
Yeah.
minutes. It just clears your mind, some fresh air, some daylight. You know,
Yeah.
I've worked in offices in the past where, you know, certainly through the winter, you arrive in the dark. If you don't leave the office until you're at the end of the day, you don't see the daylight.
Yeah,
And
No,
you go on the
you know,
dark.
it's an
Yeah.
depressing state of mind to be in. So,
And that's
Yeah.
upon us now. I mean, it's
Yeah,
starting.
no,
Winter is
absolutely.
coming.
Yeah.
As Jon
Yeah,
Snow
it's
would
already
say.
here.
So,
Yeah. It's already here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's winter is here now. Around that then,
yeah.
one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, 4-day week.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some mixed
Different,
opinions
yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
But go.
I mean, I think we see 4-day week, again, if we talk about LinkedIn as a channel, we see so many posts at the moment about 4-day weeks. A lot of people are advocates for reduced days working. For me, as a concept, I think it can work. I just question whether or not for every industry vertical it can work.
Yeah.
So as an example, our company is all about building relationships, and we're a service industry client. You know,
Yeah.
if you're a client of ours that have a need, then it's our job to fulfil that need, find resource and staff your team. If we're not there for 1 day a week, what support are we providing you when we're not in the office?
That's where I completely agree with you, because I know you were quite an advocate of the 4-day
Yeah.
week, weren't you? Whereas I'm more of a swing towards that, because obviously working in IT, if there is a disaster and
Yeah.
such, and we're not in the office
Yeah,
to deal with
absolutely.
it,
Yeah.
so, flexible working hours,
Uh-huh.
or because of how modern technology is,
Yeah.
where there is more flexible space that you can work, and you can work from home just
Yes.
as easily as you can work from the office.
Yeah.
I believe in more flexible working hours, but yeah, I'm not an advocate of the 4-day week.
Yeah, I think it's so tough because we've seen all sorts. So, for example, these days, in tandem with 4-day weeks, you're seeing people take on side hustles. So they're doing work on the side.
Yeah.
Now, I'm aware of a company that are offering a 4-day working week, and the staff that aren't working on that day are actually working in other jobs. So what you've essentially got is a health benefit, a mental benefit of less engagement, that's actually then facilitating them to work more with different people, and I'm losing track of the benefit. Exactly. So I don't know as you should restrict that exactly, but I don't see that you can opt for a 4-day working week on the same money as a 5-day pro rata, and then engage in another job on that day you've essentially freed up, because it's eradicating the benefit.
The need for the 4-day week.
Absolutely.
I completely agree with that.
I think that if you're working in a project environment, so if you ask me to deliver a project of work, and I can fulfil that by working 4 days a week, you're getting your value, you've agreed on an amount of money, and everyone's happy.
Yes.
But I still maintain, and whether it be restaurants or recruitment, in service industry, if you're not there, how can you possibly add value?
100% agree, and it's not all of your staff are going to. I sort of am an advocate of the flexible working hours.
Yeah.
So I think there's so much to do within our jobs. We have a 40-hour week, and when's the last time you saw one of them?
No.
1987,
exactly.
I think it was like. It's there's so much to do. Sometimes I don't think 40 hours a week is enough. But because I enjoy my job, for me it's not a challenge to do the additional hours. It's I want to get the stuff done. But I am an advocate of the sense of, if somebody, say you were structured to a 40-hour week and we stick to the 40-hour week thing, if they were to get that in with Monday to Thursday, and then they had Friday off, or they've got extra hours in Monday to Thursday and finished at 12 on a Friday, I think, again, going back to that flexible.
We were talking about that this morning, wasn't we? And
but then you couldn't do it for everybody.
No, you couldn't. And again, as Dave said, it is industry dependent. It depends on your job role, what you do, because it wouldn't work for everyone. And it can't be straight across the board, this is what's going to happen. But there is, I've seen a few posts as I was leaving on Thursday, someone posted about a picture of their office. It was completely empty. They'd got in early and they were finishing later because they can get more work done because there's no one in their office and there's less distraction. So you have to think about, within your five days at work, how many conversations do you have with your colleague? How many times do you go for a break and get a cup of tea, or go out, if you smoke, go for a cigarette? How many hours is that? So if you was kind of getting in earlier, finishing a little bit later, getting all of your work done, then potentially you probably could free up another day. The other viewpoint is depending on what job role you're in. If you're given a 4-day week, some people could take advantage of that situation. Other people who have enjoy their career, love their job, no matter how many days a week they work, they will finish what they've been asked to do because they love their job, and that's
I've got those clock watches. So for them it's going to be like sound.
I'm off.
Weekend.
I'm off, and then half-finished task.
5:30 Thursday. See you later.
See you later. Whereas other people, if they know, so I know, for example, I don't work Fridays. If I haven't finished everything, I will stay in the office a little bit later. It hasn't affected my mental health in any way whatsoever. I feel like I can structure my week for next week, and then I've still got Friday off. And most people now will have their emails on their phone, and some people will disagree, but if I do have a day off, it doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever if I've got to reply to something or I've got to ask a question for someone that's in the office at all while I'm out.
It's going to be thought-provoking, isn't it? And in terms of other issues that I can see potentially with 4-day working weeks, you do see some companies that are trying to squeeze the 40 hours into the 4 days. So if your average working day is 8 hours and you're taking 20% of your time, a fifth of your working week out, if you're going to then bolster that on top of the 4 days, talk about an extra 2 hours per day, you're pushing people up to 10-hour days, and if the motivation again is health, well-being, how is that helping? And again, I think these are the areas that it needs some thought. I'm aware of an agency that I think on the South Coast who are currently trialling a 4-day working week, and I engaged with their MD a little while ago, and he spoke about a complete close down of their business on Fridays. So it's not as though they have staff on a rota that will always have coverage. They are shut on a Friday.
Right.
And I can't buy into that.
No.
So yeah, I don't know.
But I suppose, and I think I said to James last week as well, back kind of before when I was in sales, I very rarely got hold of anyone after 12 on a Friday, especially in London, because people were out lunching or they finished early, etc. So it was always very, very hard to try and nail someone on the phone. So I think, again, it is industry dependent. If you find that you're in a sales industry and you're not getting any productivity from your staff on a Friday, then that could potentially work for them, because that is the day where kind of least activity happens. It tends to be like dress down Friday, a little bit casual, make a few. Again, industry dependent. It wouldn't necessarily work if you was in a restaurant or you was in retail. That doesn't work. But some companies.
Okay, so just going back to escaping the city.
Yeah.
How are you finding? Are you managing to attract much talent away from the city? You know, as your role, your role is to attract the right talent for your company, essentially. And I probably imagine that most of the talent, as we've seen in most other industries, is towards the city and within London.
Yeah.
How are you finding that transition of convincing people to come away from there?
I find it easier because I'm an example of someone that actually did used to work in London, so it's not kind of a case of I've never worked there and don't understand how it is. So
you're basically your own case study for it.
Yeah, exactly. And so therefore I do find it a lot easier when people are kind of asking what the benefits are, etc. Then it's easier for me to say, well, I used to do what you used to do, and obviously, as you know, and for me to relate to that. So a lot of my videos are around kind of how much travel is. And I used to, well, I say London, I worked in Stratford, and you kind of say, okay, well, it's only 45 minutes on the train. It isn't. By the time you leave, by the time you leave your house,
it's only 45 minutes. It's like one of the promotional videos I saw on southend-on-sea. 45 minutes from the city.
Is it? And it's kind of a case of, okay, technically, if the train doesn't break down or isn't delayed, then yes, it's 45 minutes. But from door to door, you're looking an hour and a half each way. Easily. That's without what used to be £5. It's probably more now. A day,
well, that's one thing. I mean, I'm an advocate of this as well. And it's like I've never actually worked in the city, but I think I've been to the city enough times to realise I don't want to work there.
Yeah.
That morning commute, it'd be like I'm paying £5,000 a year for it as well. That's like, you know, I wouldn't pay £5,000 a year to go have Japanese water torture or something.
No, exactly.
I'd pretty much assimilate the two. The actual journey on the tube, the change in between, the rudeness and arrogance of people. There is literally common courtesy is a thing that was abolished, I think, 20 years ago from commuting to London. I could not bring myself to do it.
Doesn't exist anymore.
I think when I started the business, that was a big element for us, of course. Where are we going to be based? And for me, I worked for a large city recruiter, and the common denominator of our talent is none of it lived in London. So we were in London. Our clients, some in fairness are in London, but of course that we had them all over the world at the time. Being in London didn't do enough to justify being there when you considered the toll it took upon the staff and
the rates as well.
I
mean, that'd have been another reason to not actually go to London for the rates that people are going to be paying there.
I mean, I think obviously to rent office space is expensive, and the rates on top of that, of course, and as I say, for us as a business in setting up, it just didn't make sense. There wasn't enough justification to be there. And actually, being in Leigh, being near to home, having the amazing amenities that we've got on Broadway, it's a no-brainer for us.
I mean, I talk about that morning commute. I imagine you at that stage in London were commuting with a lot of people, that other recruitment companies. And
I think this is the funny thing. We had one lady that worked in our office that I think lived in London in Canary Wharf. Apart from that, we're all on the train. So they were going into Liverpool Street, Fenchurch Street, they were going to Tower, all over the place. But they're coming from the home counties. And as I say, the denominator was the talent lived outside of London. And now, as a business positioned outside of London, we're looking to engage those guys that sat on the trains, that aren't enjoying their commute, and that are really, truly wanting to escape the city. I like going to London now as a tourist and for an occasional meeting.
I've still a lot of fans of the journey. I do love like a night out in London. And Camden Town is like one of my favourite places. Shoreditch, but still If you could take that commute out and just get a helicopter.
Yeah, it was, and it was like groundhog. You'd work Monday to Friday in the city, and my wife would say, "Oh, should we go to London on Saturday?" And it's like,
I can't think of any fucking words.
You've got show tickets. I don't want to do it. And it's a shame because it takes fun out of an amazing place. So I think we now have the best of both worlds. It's accessible. We can get there. Obviously, we can meet clients if we need to, of course. But we're near to home working, and there's a lot of benefit to that.
Definitely.
About it.
I actually done some research, and it's probably back in one of my previous videos about how much time we spend on the train, how much time we're at work. We're at work over 70% of the time, and I worked out based on kind of your average 5-day week and your couple of weeks holiday that you take per year. If you work in London, you spend on average around 1 month out of the 12 just travelling to and from work.
On the train, just 1 month on the train.
But you do, yeah.
I was like, even the driving to London, I've had some meetings where I've had to drive in, and the M25, or the world's biggest car park, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
There's
it's tough.
it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's absolutely horrible. I jinxed myself when I actually set off for a meeting. It was up past Watford. We were at Sutton.
Right. Okay.
I was going towards, I thought, was it Sutton? I can't remember now. No, it wasn't. Sorry, I tell a lie.
Yeah.
I had to go up to Solihull to visit a
Up
site.
in the Midlands, yeah.
Yeah. And that's quite a way around the M25, and you come off there. I thought, I'm going to have to set off at 6 o'clock in the morning. Didn't have to be there till 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to, purely because it was only 2 hours, sort of 40 minutes on the sat nav off the traffic, and I actually jinxed myself, flew through the M25, no traffic. I was like,
First
time, A127, nothing.
Yeah.
And I actually rung my boss and was like, I've jinxed myself here, I'm going to make it well early. No. M6.
Here it goes.
Wonderful.
Here it goes.
So yeah, when you take into consideration those factors of the journey times, I mean, you wouldn't get me working in the city anyway.
No.
I'm a city boy for the nightlife, but not. Not
I think quite a few people that I've interviewed, you do get people that are just starting their career are very much, they want to be in the city because they love the kind of social life, they love the lifestyle, their friends are there, which I completely get, and I've done it, and it's nice, and you can go out on Thursday night and get to work on Friday. It gets a lot harder as you get older. But yeah, when
the 3-day hangover.
Yeah, 3-day hangover, or a week.
Past 32, I always found that sort of kicked in.
Whereas before you get on the train 7:30, it doesn't bother you. But just you speak to people and they want to be there. Whereas I think as you kind of progress through your career, you then start to realise that time is more valuable to you than anything.
And I find that actually touching on this, because we're going to talk generally about sales as well.
Yeah.
I find I'd want to attract the people that have sort of settled down and stuff. I mean, there's nothing better than a youth and the hunger and such that they've got.
Yeah.
But for wealth of experience wise,
Yeah.
you know, I prefer somebody that was more settled down, that would more want to continue with their life and find that work-life balance.
Because they can kind of add to that culture of well-being in the workplace, because they understand it and they want to be part of that as well, so they can kind of help nurture that in the workplace. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, it's not to say that it can be anyone that's right for the job, but yeah, certain people want to be in the city for that reason, and others it doesn't worry them. And I think nowadays people are, yes, the pay packet is very nice, and that's what people want when they want to go to work, but the kind of second down from that is, okay, what can the company offer me that will help me maintain my life at home as well, what will help me? And that's what they want. They want more time, they want to be less stressed and not have to suffer with anxiety. So.
Talking about the general, because you've worked in both environments, Dave, and where did you find sales easier, city or?
I mean, I think the problem with city is there's a lot of things that can go wrong en route to the city that can put you off in a sales context. And so sales is all about mentality, obviously. Yeah. It's about being in the right frame of mind. 100%. And if you've had delayed trains, cancelled trains, if you've had leaves on the track, tracks have bent, whatever's happened.
Sorry, there's leaves on the track. This is
Oh
a
my gosh,
450-ton metal moving machine.
Right.
You're telling me you can be put off by a leaf?
Yeah, I can do it on a push bike. So yeah, if you're talking about that in the morning commute, then that will put you off. And for me, there's less that can go wrong when you're working locally, and for that reason, you can probably condition yourself, prepare yourself better to start up your day as planned, and be more successful in sales outside of the city. You know, it's stressful. fighting your way through a tube station.
It massively is. And it's like within sales as well. I've always been an advocate of it. I mean, there's so many good businesses around here. I mean, I do love Southend. I love Essex as a whole. But I mean, Southend, sort of like Basildon, Chelmsford, Leigh-on-sea, thought that the areas we have here.
Yeah.
And with a business, I don't know if you'd have a similar structure. I've always when I owned my own entertainment company, it was find business within 10 miles of my house or my office. If I can't get from there, go further, go further. And there's that much opportunity here. I find that, I mean, it's not easy, sales isn't easy, but for the amount of businesses and big corporate businesses we have around here, there's enough work for everybody to go for.
I think for us now, there's more local business than ever. We specialise in SAP recruitment, and that isn't so particular to this part of our county. Our clients are multinationals, they're globals, they're the leading brands of the world. So you'll find them positioned in fairness cities, but it's not limited to London. In fact, when you take financial services and banking clients out, most of those large clients are in Manchester, they are in Bristol, they might be in Edinburgh or Birmingham. So the fact we're not in London, it really doesn't affect us because our clients might well be in Birmingham or Bristol or Manchester or Edinburgh or Dublin. I think we now offer IT recruitment services aligned with our SAP core strength. And it's at that point that we're now starting to engage the local guys a great deal more than we have done historically. Because as you say, you've got some big credible companies locally and certainly within the Essex area who of course make use of IT as every business does, future-proof.
Some companies, fantastic companies.
We can work with them now. There's nothing better than saying, I'm 5 minutes away, do you want to meet up for coffee or should we talk through your project?
And it's such a great place to work. Meet somebody up for a meeting as well. If you're meeting up with somebody in Leigh-on-sea and you're going to something like the Estuary or something, it's just such a brilliant place to be.
That's a free lunch.
There you go. Everyone's happy. That's fine.
They're also very nice.
There are also very, very nice other restaurants and such within Leigh. It just tends to be one of my.
But no, it is great. We've got restaurants, we've got bars. We got great coffee shops and a lot of independents as well as nationals as well. So if you fancy your coffee, you got it. If not, you got 3 or 4 local guys that are fantastic.
The boutique element as well.
It's got real character. It's a nice place to be. It's a good place to meet. We've in fact done some interviews there in the past ourselves. So perhaps if it isn't appropriate in an office environment where everyone can see who you're talking to, it's great to have that facility and amenity nearby. We trialled a little while ago something called walk-in interviews. I don't know if you've heard of this before.
No, go on with it.
So essentially, if you were coming into our office for an interview, shake hands, hi James, nice to meet you, etc., etc., and the interview would start from the front door and walk down to Leigh Broadway, have the coffee. Interview goes on, walk back to the office, interview goes on, and then the interview ends when we get back to the office.
See, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I don't disagree with you. I'm quite a naturally clumsy person. So I want that person on the interview that wouldn't even just stack it into a lamp or stop falling over a trip over someone's dog into a pram.
But then your personality comes out, because if you've done that, it's like, how do you deal with you tripping over? Okay, that's funny.
And it's funny because a lot of people do get very anxious, they get nervous in an office environment. Big meeting room table and obviously people being able to see him and that kind of thing. I think you get a chance to see people's characters, personalities when they're out. If they shout at pigeons, we don't want them.
Did we do it? You deserved it, that pigeon. I stand by it.
I think when it comes to it's just embracing different approaches and trying to engage different processes to see people in different circumstances. We'll embrace anything that's a little bit different, a little bit new, and
if they're not from Leigh-on-sea, you can give them
a little guidance.
Absolutely.
How lovely it is.
And it is a great place to work and live in fairness.
I guess the final topic that I really wanted to have a quick conversation around. Thank you both for coming down. It's been a pleasure. Great topics covered. I'll send you the final cut before I release this on Friday. Was basically sales in general, a holistic view at sales. Problems you find with sales, mainly from a candidate perspective. I mean, what would you look for in an ideal candidate within sales, and what problems do you find? What's the buzzwords you want to hear when somebody's pitching for you?
So I think any form of sales, you need to be energetic, you need to be enthusiastic, you need to be positive, you should be resourceful, ambitious, driven, motivated, hungry. You know, there's lots of things. Lots of things you can look for.
That's just a nice little Okay,
that's not what we're after. So you know, positive people that want to be successful.
I want to work.
Yeah, absolutely, want to work. And I would say that probably something that's lost often in the process of salesmanship, if you like, is work ethic. And this hasn't changed.
A 4-day week, I
know, mate, absolutely. That's it. So, and I think this is sometimes lost in the process. People think that sales can be an easy thing, an easy concept, and some people certainly make it look easy. But work ethic, I think, is at the heart of every successful salesperson.
I think it's at the heart of any successful person. I mean, we see videos, like they're always popping up on Facebook all the time. Like Will Smith, who was saying, you make sure you're the hardest working. You're there at 7, you leave at 7. You make sure you're the best there is. And it's amazing how many people don't seem to pick up on that. I mean, it's like the sales type that was like they expect it to fall into the lap.
It's give them.
And in actual fact, that can be a bit of a blessing and a curse. So if someone's in a sales environment, because I was in sales before I was in recruitment, but if you're in a generic sales environment and very early in your career you achieve success, that can sometimes be a real curse. You can almost stumble into success.
Because you've already set the bar.
Thinking this is easy. Why doesn't everyone do it? And then you don't know how to respond when things don't go well and you aren't so successful. I think that hard work will make you successful in most jobs, and sales recruitment specifically is no exception. You know, you can be a half decent recruiter with a real strong work ethic and be very successful. You know, if you're a good recruiter but you don't have that work ethic, you're going to struggle. And you will do in any sales format. So for us, for all of the buzzwords that exist, entrepreneurial and driven, motivated,
the main one for you is effort.
It's work ethic and professionalism, because we do engage with credible companies that have an expectation of how we'll perform.
And I'll always go for the person that would go above and beyond the call of duty as well. I mean, because the person, I think that's the way that you're going to achieve. I know you want to find a healthy work-life balance, but I mean, I know you do a lot to keep people happy in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I still am going to accept that FIFA challenge.
Absolutely.
And I think and that's I think where a lot of companies do get it wrong, which way you obviously don't, in the sense that they'll expect to have everybody's lives. But so you don't expect that, but people would want to work harder for you because you create a great environment to work in. I think on the flip side of that, you can say, "Oh, I don't want to do a 70-hour week. I want to see it." But
I think we have a mature environment, so I think our team know that if they have a client that have a need, then it's important that they work to fulfil that need. You know, we have incredible brands trusting us with their work. We support them, and that doesn't stop at 5:30 necessarily. And I think that's really important again in recruitment and sales as a whole. You know, your job is to get the job done.
And
there's probably no fine point in that. And if you feel as though you can stop the clock on the market, well, you're wrong. Because we got incredible competitors. You know, we work in an industry with incredible depth. There's lots of options, it's at the point that you stop committing to the job that you're going to stop enjoying the success of the job. We have perks, we have benefits. We're in a phenomenal area. I think we've got the best office I've ever seen in recruitment, and I've been in a few.
It is very nice. I'm not just saying it is very nice. And some of the videos you'll see it.
And I think that we trust people to work hard and professionally when they're in our environment. And it's not about us standing by the door asking, well, why are you going home? It's about people when they're leaving knowing that the job is done.
It's like taking it back to that parents thing. Not managed.
Exactly right. But these, we're paid to
So if
deliver a
it's
service.
just like a pop quiz.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's various structures within sales, isn't it? You've got some people that are talented at maybe getting past the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
You've got some people that might be talented in building that relationship or opening that door. You might have other people that are talented at maintaining relationships, which
Yes.
are your good account manager style
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of roles.
Yeah.
You have brilliant closers. You have there's so many different perspectives. I mean, if you got the person that's good at everything, you
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is a
absolutely.
winner,
what
yeah.
would you say your preferred?
Yeah,
Because there's some elements you can teach, I think, within sales,
Yeah.
and there's certain elements that.
Yeah, I think so. I think for us, and you may have seen this in a video recently that we posted, we often distinguish our team as either 360-degree recruiters or 180-degree recruiters.
That wasn't.
Not salary.
Not 160k, but 180k. So 360 would be somebody that can fulfil the entire recruitment process. So they're good at client outreach, they're good at engagement, they can account manage, look after relationships. Simultaneously, they'll be very strong with their networks of candidates, they'll attract resource to those clients, deliver and ultimately close
that deal.
That deal.
Yeah, so right from door opening and cold calling right through to
Yeah,
final
absolutely.
process. Yeah.
So this in our industry would be the most rewarding role because arguably it's the most challenging. You have to wear every hat quite well to fulfill a 360 position. 180 is a real skill, but it's focused on the candidate side. So you don't have the client outreach, you don't have the engagement with the businesses. Instead, your whole focus is on delivering candidates into client relationships that are managed by other people.
Yeah.
And that's where you may see, and we actually have need for, business development consultants, account management consultants, of course 360 resource that can do the whole thing, and 180 that will support either 360 or the account managers or of course the BD guys.
So going back to the quiz element of it,
Yeah,
let's pick 3 elements.
yeah,
Door opener,
yeah,
relationship sort of maintainer,
yeah.
deal closer. Also builder and maintainer, deal closer. Which one would you prefer? So somebody's got one talent, you can teach the other 2.
I think in a sales context, if you look at it as bluntly as hunters and farmers,
Yeah.
I think hunting is tough. Yeah, you're on your toes.
Yeah.
and you don't know if you're coming back. Yeah. I think sales on the front end, it will always be the most challenging. And so to engage with new companies, to engage with people that have existing relationships with other agencies, they have preferred supplier lists of agencies that might have survived for years, to manage to find an opportunity to sell in at that point, that would be the key skill. I think that account management can be done badly. I think it can be done very well. I think that delivery of resource can be done well, can be done badly, and similarly closing. Some people do struggle just to ask that final question.
Just, do you want the business? Can I have your business, please?
Exactly.
It sounds it's fantastic, and they don't know how to close it, and it's a struggle.
I've experienced it when they've got the pitch together, they work so hard on the presentation, on the project of work that they want to propose or deliver, and then they've sent that across, and it's all and it's just that fear of.
Exactly.
They feel like Oliver Twist.
Exactly. And you're not begging for business. You're simply asking. You've asked us to deliver a service. We feel we've done that to a high standard, and that the options that you now have are probably above and beyond what you may have looked for. It needs to come down to definitively. Is there an offer? Can we offer this candidate? Because of course, we don't own these candidates. Many are freelance, and the guys that are looking for permanent engagement will be working for the company. At any point, they could work elsewhere. And if you don't have somebody that's able to ask those questions, then you jeopardise the whole process.
Definitely.
And going back to kind of the work ethic as well, is that there's still sometimes that kind of phone fear. Like, you start a new job and it's you say you can do these things and you've got it all worked out in your head, but it's actually physically being able to do it and just pick up the phone. And I think if you've already got that, and that doesn't bother you, and you can pick up the phone, then you can learn everything else around that.
Yeah.
And it's the more calls you do, the more people you get through to, etc. It's kind of
we're not after the one-arm bandit, like as in like this with a
No.
phone,
Yeah.
because there's more skill to it than that. You know, we don't want just someone rattling through Google, just blindly trying to attract anybody. You know, we're quite particular about who we attract, who we reach out to, and what service we can provide. But yeah, work ethic and specifically being happy to engage people on the phone or face to face, that's key for recruitment.
Okay.
And I think companies have to take responsibility as well. So having a good management style and noticing that some people are better at other things than others are, and then positioning them within the team. So rather than saying, okay, well, this person hasn't hit target, it's not working out, it's a case, okay, well, what are you good at? Let's move you around, let's put you on that part. And the manager kind of identifying their strengths and their weaknesses, and then working with them on their weaknesses to then build them up to get them where they need to be as well. And I think that's something that is also important when you take staff on, is the management style.
Within that, yeah, I'm glad you've spoken about those elements, because I think there is certain elements within sales that you can teach, but I mean, you can't teach work ethic.
No, of course,
I
yeah,
think that is
absolutely.
one thing that is built into your, when you see through your life, as how you're brought up, is how much effort you're going to put into something, and see how much you are as a person. And agree with your point as well about the phone androids. You know, your classic pyramid sales structure is make 100 calls, you get 50 warm opportunities, you then got 25 so 10 meetings. I'd prefer somebody to make 40 quality calls, because the amount of times you see somebody when you are, I think from a business perspective, it's about setting the right targets for people. So if you are targeting people by phone calls, because again, you are going to get these people that are just work to rule. They are going to go in and just smash 100 calls out, and they could just be going, "Hi, how are you doing? Good," and they're not asking all the questions. So whenever I've looked at sales teams or structured sales teams before, I put that ethos of 50 quality calls, make sure you're asking all the right questions, and you've got to hear no to be able to hear yes.
Of
If
course
you can't deal with rejection, especially in sales. So I actually like it when people do hear no, because you know it's all right, move on to the next one. But as long as I've got a no for every opportunity I've pitched for.
I think you need to be robust in sales, don't you? You have to be able to take a no, but ultimately you need to be honest with yourself as well. And I think that's something that I was always very good at, was debriefing myself without the need for my manager to point out the mistakes and the issues and the reason why things may have gone wrong in a process. I think if you can be honest, and you can debrief yourself, you've got a good chance of being successful in sales, 100%.
Wicked. Well, thank you both for coming down. It's been
Thanks,
a great
James.
conversation.
No,
It's
pleasure.
been great to see you both. So, Alice Gilbey and Edward Carter, from David Bancroft Solutions. Alice Gilbey and David Bancroft from Edward Carter Solutions. This has been the second instalment of Couno Cast, and we will see you on Friday.
Thank you, James.
Thank
Can I
you.
just add one more thing?
Go on.
Ron, please can we have a manager at Southend United?
I'm going to leave it in. Please. He's a massive Southend fan.
Right,
Great.
Cheers,
Thanks
James.
for coming
Thank
down.
you, mate. Appreciate that.